Hello everyone, today is December 11th, 2022 and I am doing lesson 10. Lesson 10 is My Thoughts Do Not Mean Anything. This idea applies to all the thoughts of which you are aware or become aware in the practice periods. The reason the idea is applicable to all of them is that they are not your real thoughts. We have made this distinction before and will do so again. You have no basis for comparison as yet. When you do, you will have no doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts did not mean anything. This is the second time we have used this kind of idea. The form is only slightly different. This time the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts, and no link is made overtly with the things around you. The emphasis is now on the lack of reality of what you think you think. This aspect of the correction process began with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless, outside rather than within, and then stress their past rather than their present status. Now we are emphasizing that the presence of these thoughts means that you are not thinking. This is merely another way of repeating our earlier statement that your mind is really a blank. To recognize this is to recognize nothingness. When you think, you see it. As such, it is the prerequisite for vision. Close your eyes for these exercises and introduce them by repeating the idea for today quite slowly to yourself, and then add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. The exercises consist, as before, in searching your mind for all the thoughts that are available to you, without selection or judgment. Try to avoid classification of any kind. In fact, if you find it helpful to do so, you might imagine that you are watching an oddly assorted procession going by, which has little, if any, personal meaning to you. As each one crossed your mind, say, my thought about blank does not mean anything. My thought about blank does not mean anything. Today's thought can obviously serve for any thought that distresses you at any time. In addition, 5 practice periods are recommended, each involving no more than a minute or so of mind searching. It is not recommended that this time period be extended, and it should be reduced to half a minute or less if you experience discomfort. Remember, however, to repeat the idea slowly before applying it specifically, and then also add, my thought about blank does not mean anything. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. Now I will do the commentary from this book. That is the path of all human beings on this planet, the path to awaken to their true nature, which is love. That is clearly not where you are at this time. The results and the physical manifestations on your planet of war, sickness, and death testify to the fact that you do not know love. Even though made of love, from love, for love, you have walked so far down the road away from love that you have forgotten your true nature. This training program you have decided to join reveals how far you walked along the road in the wrong direction. You can look at the physical manifestations in your life, body, relationships, and society, and know you lack love. If something is lacking, what do you add to that situation? The thing it lacks. You must add love to this life that you live in your perceptual journey. First of all, you must have your mind clarified, because most of you do not even know what love is. Truly, you do not know what love is. You have a programmed, superficial, and distorted definition of love. Many of the acts you participate in and call love are not loving at all. The clarification begins with the fundamentals of how you look at yourself, how you look at your interior language, and how you interpret the interior language. If you respond to every thought as true, you live in a chaotic and violent world. Most of the thoughts in your mind come from unloving and thus untrue beliefs and ideas. They have been inserted into your consciousness without your knowledge, even though you have supported them for many years through word, thought, and deed. Trust in this process. Trust as we get into the inner workings of your consciousness. Even though you do not understand yet what comes from that transformation, you will feel more loving. You will feel less violent. When you do have the urge to attack, judge, or curse somebody, or yell, shout, or scream, there will come a time when you truly have a choice. You will say, I'm not going to do that anymore. These early lessons might confuse you because they counter everything you have ever been taught. This is a great act of faith on your part to do these lessons and allow them into your consciousness. These teachings always have been centered on love. They have never been about control, punishment, suffering, sacrifice, or martyrdom. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys tomorrow.